Vlog video number 3, September 20th, 1708, day 11. So, over the weekend, I decided that I'm not going to make videos during that time. And I make videos roughly around midnight or just after midnight, which is why I didn't post anything on Sunday or Monday, which were September 10th and September 11th in base 12 count, which I briefly go over in my first vlog video. But anyway, this past weekend has been a little bit rough, especially on this past Saturday. And the reason being is that since I am living in this big house by myself, I don't have a washer and dryer. So I am currently utilizing the washer and dryer that my parents have at their place. So I went up to their place to do so and to help stack the dryer on top of the washer. But it turns out that the dryer had a power issue, and the breaker that was for the 240 volt circuit was not the correct amperage. So unfortunately, they had to shut down their whole main on their house to get into the panel and switch the breaker out. So yeah, I couldn't wash my clothes on Saturday. That was just one of those kind of days where I was just so upset that I didn't really feel like talking anyway. And that's where I got the idea that, you know what, maybe you should just take a break on the weekends and not say anything. So there was that. But Sunday I went back up and the washer and the dryer were all set. So I was able to do my thing. And I also fiddle around with my one of my laptops, which is a Panasonic CF33 tablet, complete with ACPI dock, which from this point I'll just call Unit 19. And yes, I have more than 19 computers. So I fiddled with that, installed some ham radio applications like Chirp, JS8 Call, TQSL, and a bunch of others, and got Chirp to work with my Baofeng radios. So that's a start, as always. They're just Baofengs, but still, seeing it actually work again is quite nice. That laptop uses Gen 2 Linux running GNOME 45 or 46. I don't quite recall the version number. It works fairly well. It's a bit glitchy, as it should be expected, but you know, it's GNOME, and I'm not a huge fan of GNOME. I prefer KDE Plasma whenever I get a chance. But for tablet applications, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So Monday, work was actually pretty standard. Not a whole lot happened. The one thing that did occur was I had inspiration because I do write novels. They're unpublished right now. I do not know if I'm going to end up publishing them, but we'll see. They're basically, what's a good way of putting this? My train of thought as far as the concepts of reality and different aspects of who we are, just splayed out in the form of characters. So for example, one character may have the aspect of strength and embodies it. Another character might have the aspect of faith and embodies it. Another character might have the aspect of love and embodies it. So on, so on, so on. And I just kind of let my train of thought just go onto the screen, basically. And yeah, so I've been running this novels since 2017, roughly. But the concept for the story comes from a fan fiction that started in 2007. So it's been going on for a while. And I had the idea that, I've been stalled on this novel for about a couple months now. And I just had the idea at work where I realized that one of the people that was apparently holding it up, I did not understand the concept of that person, which is faith in the Creator's greater plan for all creation. And by having faith in the Creator's plan, you will be able to receive what the Creator's faith in you, which is always there to begin with. It's ourselves, our minds, demons interrupting our thoughts, etc., that make us think otherwise. And coming to this conscious realization, suddenly it was like a wall was just busted down, and now the path is finally moving forward again. And I actually know what scene to do next. So I guess you could call that a writer's block in more than one way. So that's pretty much the exciting thing that happened this past Monday. Also had thought about the state I live in. I live in Massachusetts, I'll say that much, which is a Democrat stronghold, and I'm not a very political person. I really don't like politics, because I understand that Democrats, Republicans, they're all controlled by the same people, Freemasons and so on down the line, and they just try to distract people thinking that they have an illusion of choice, and as long as the people think they have a choice, they'll just keep voting, even though it goes pretty much nowhere because it's all controlled by the same people. But anyway, I just wanted to make the point that it appears that Massachusetts is becoming the Democrats' version of Florida. And what I mean by that is, well, very high housing prices. In some areas of the state, a single family home can cost from like $500,000 on up, depending on where you are. There's also the ridiculous regulations, especially for housing codes, gun restrictions, and things of that nature. And then there's, of course, the job market, which is being increasingly occupied by immigrants, legal or not. But as far as this video is concerned at this point, it's largely illegal immigrants coming in, being brought in for the vote, so they can get the vote. Give them free stuff and they get the vote. That's exactly how the devil works, by the way. Just saying. But yeah, it's a very similar setup in Florida. Got immigrants from Cuba who usually take all the dirty work, all the dirty jobs like lawn mowing and car washing and all that stuff. The regulations there are ridiculous. Like you can't have more than 2 inches of grass on your lawn or you can get a fine. It's ridiculous. And of course, housing down there is ridiculous. Also, we all know that. And both are service economies. Pretty much Massachusetts is the Democratic Florida. It's pretty much the case. It's like the highest grossing state in New England as of this video. So, I mean, take of that as you will, I guess. And another thing that came up during the weekend was self-betrayal. And a lot of the things that are going on in our lives and why we're so angry is because we're betraying ourselves in some way, shape, or form. This betrayal could be because we have been programmed to think we have to do certain things and we're not consciously aware of what we really want vis-a-vis what we're told to do. And so we go and do things against what we really want, and then things happen that could be considered inauspicious. And then some people may wonder what's going on. Other people may project their anger on other people, blaming them for what happened, and the whole thing just spirals out of control for them. Of course, this comes down to your inner kingdom. Like I said in a previous video, you're in charge of your inner kingdom. You're responsible for it. But, people who have a immature EQ or IQ or both will think that you're going to be catered to on the inside, as if the people on television or the people in the media are just going to, pamper their insides and they don't have to do anything about it. Perhaps that explains part of their addiction to movies, video games, etc. Perhaps. That's a theory, an idea. May or may not be correct. But nonetheless, self-betrayal, if people don't know themselves well enough, it's going to happen all the time. And they're not even going to understand what's going on with them because they don't understand who they are. And everything starts with awareness. Literally, if you're going to fix your life, you got to start with being aware of what the problem is. You can't fix the problem until you know what the problem is. And in order to find the problem, you got to know who you are. So there you go. That's what you got to do. Become aware of who you are and what you like and what you want. And get rid of the thoughts that are not yours. Because all that stuff in the media, all the music and the shit they pump into your head, it's not yours. You got to figure out what's your thoughts, what are your feelings, and not the feelings and thoughts of what may be in music or another mass media. So I think that will do it for this video. Thanks for watching and have a good day.